thoughts on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so welcome. We're letting people who can't physically be here with us right now. This hour is going to be happening every week when I'm here in West Virginia or when I'm traveling. We're going to try to allow everyone who wants to gather. The Lotus Way is a organization that is literally officially being incorporated in West Virginia as a 501c3 church. And we're establishing that here for a lot of reasons. It's been my vision since I founded the Lotus Way in 2001. So we're almost at 20 years, and of 20 years of profit in of process and services that I have done from a not-for-profit model. We're just formalizing it. And we've chosen to do a church for a few reasons. One is I want us to be able to have places and opportunities to gather as a community who sincerely want to live in a world and with people closely connected to us, where in my case and in our case, we have practices, we have healthcare, and ideally as natural as possible healthcare support available, and where we do not separate body, mind, and spirit. And I don't care if we're talking about architecture or medicine or healing. Everything has a physical, a mental, and a spiritual component. That's the way I live and practice. That's what my teachers have taught me. All of my practices and all of my teachers come from that place. And so as I moved away from living full-time, I lived full-time with my teachers, sometimes just 24/7, completely steeped in some of the most amazing human beings that I've ever met that walk this planet, and came back to where I grew up and was raised, and now travel. I have tribes in different places, and some of my tribes have this kind of community. I'm so blessed with that, and I think some of you may be too. However, here in Morgantown, and then as I travel and I have students and teachers, and some in one body is a student and a teacher, but I have these people all over the place, and this is a way for us to grow a connected community and do things consciously together. So the Lotus Way is my organization that now I'm opening up to be a nonprofit, our organization. And we are going to be connected with other people doing this as well. So my teacher Saul has a Sangha, and he has regular gatherings now, and I participate in those all the time. My Guru, Swami Chaitanananda, this is my lighthouse right there. This is his teacher and his teacher. He has his practices that I stay connected to, so we're kind of creating this web. If nothing else, if everybody is happy to just come here on Wednesdays and do this, but there'll also be these other beautiful paths for us to connect to feel this greater sense of amazing community. And I'm hoping that each of us brings things to that community, right? So I'm going to bring me. Wednesday nights, here we are. This is what you get. And I'll invite anything else that comes in, and we'll talk about the mission statements of the Lotus Way. And I wanted to say one of them now, that is everybody, I don't know if everybody's gotten our newsletter, but we just put out a January newsletter. And in that newsletter, we talked about sort of our creed, which is love is our religion, and nature is God, and our bodies are our temples. Now, that is an oversimplified, unbelievably beautiful way to say a whole lot of things that we could spend hours and hours on, because when I use the word religion, it comes loaded for each of us with different stuff. And when I say love is our religion, that means Islam, Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, Jainism, pick one. I'd pick any one and tell me how their root message is not love. And if there is any message in any religion that supersedes that one. And so from my heart, I hope that all religions, if we can get to that and live from that message, I think we're all doing great. So it truly is. Saying nature is our God will sound threatening to many people. And I hope that that tension goes away around whichever word is triggering people, whether it's calling nature God or deciding what God is or what God is not. Because I think there is one God because everything is God. And it says that in every one of the texts that every single religion uses. So we have different words to describe what that is. But in general, if God is all things fall under the umbrella of natural, whether we understand it, phenomena, or what we call supernatural. It's still natural. Right? We just haven't figured it out yet with science. And then different sciences have different ways of looking at it. And I am a doctor of science in Oriental medicine. So that means I have studied a bunch of lineages still. That's not even just one lineage. That's East Asian philosophies, which go back thousands of years in many, many different places and had different political and economical and geographical influences. But in general, accepting and embracing nature as part of why we're here and how we deal with anything is really important. So we're coming from this principle of the Lotus Way. And then there's the word lotus in the Lotus Way. And I came up with the Lotus Way while, I'm not even sitting in lotus right now. If anybody knows your asanas, I'm sitting in Sukhanasana right now, which is easy pose, right? I don't know if everybody can see me out there in the world, but this is easy pose. My feet are down on the floor, right? This is the easy pose. This is when we're not ready. And whatever position you're sitting in, it's fine, but there's a real power to working our way to, this is Ardha Padmasana, which is half lotus, right? And then as we practice and practice and practice, and one day I can sit in full Padmasana, full lotus pose. So I was sitting 20 years ago in my meditation space in my house and had this moment, and I was flexible enough that back then, 20 years ago, to sit like this for a long time. And it was the day that I got this asana, that I had an aha moment of why it was called the lotus pose. And then I had been chanting, and there is a chant called Om Mani Padme Hum, which is one of the most ancient chants, and it is Om, which most of us know, Yoga Om, the vibration of all things. Mani means jewel, Padme means lotus, and Hum is another seed syllable for mantras like Om, that it's kind of the bookend, Om and Hum, around the jewel of the lotus. And Hum kind of translates as the experience of, I don't like these words, but spiritual enlightenment. Okay, so Om is the vibration of all things, Hum is where we get when we tap into that vibration of all things, and in between those two words is Mani Padme. And Mani Padme, the history of that is really beautiful. It's Avalokiteshvara, a manifestation of Buddha. People talk about the Mani Padme was a Devi, a goddess, a consort of this particular manifestation of Buddha. And Mani and Padme are talked about as yin and yang, male and female, Shiva, Shakti. Wisdom and compassion is a big way that they're often translated. So this chant is also talked about as repeating this chant brings all wisdom and compassion together for us to be able to reach that state of oneness and enlightenment. So I was sitting there on this day in lotus pose, and this chant that I'd chanted for, this is the day where chanting didn't just become this entertaining, fun thing. I actually went, oh, whoa. I feel my roots. I feel totally connected to my body, to this earth, to like why I'm here. I felt energy drawing up through my planted, like there were roots below me, and this was my lily pad petal. And then my spine turned on and lit up. And I felt all the movement going. And then I felt that, in yoga we talk about 1,000-petaled lotus coming out of our crown chakra, right? And I felt this deep-rooted connection, and my body moving with energy and expanding, and the word lotus that has become in a way so cliche in Asian spirituality, to the point where one of my teachers in Chinese medicine school, our business classes was asking us what we were going to name our businesses. And he didn't know that I was sitting there with a business that had already been named for over a decade. But he said, just please tell me it's not going to have the word lotus in it. Because it's so cliche. It's so, overused. And I was sitting there laughing because I'm like, there's a reason it's been used for thousands of years. It's an amazing analogy. And once you feel this in this asana, or whatever version of the asana we can do, or even if it's sitting in a chair, and if we can really embody it, it's kind of hard to get there. I've only been there a dozen times since then, maybe 24 times, this magic aha moment of being totally connected with all things. But I came away from that day 20 years ago, and in less than a few hours built my website and named my practice and had a vision, and here we are. And every time I do my practices, that I work with one student or that I work with a group, I feel thousands of years of practitioners and of teachers and people sitting and cultivating that thing that I've felt a couple dozen times since that day. And I've lived in an ashram for many years, 24/7 in my practices, and I still don't get to that place all the time, but the times I have been my light year jumps in my self-cultivation practices, those aha moments, and to the point now where I seek very little other than doing practices to help myself get there and serving other people to get there. So that's why we're here, and that's why Wednesday nights are going to be a very simple kind of just like invitation to come together. We're going to do different practices. Tonight I thought we would learn Om Mani Padme Hum, if you guys wanted to do a little chanting. It's a beautiful chant, and I've told you a little bit about the asana. So it is an advanced asana, and any variation that you can do working towards it is beautiful, and it's not to be taken lightly. But if you have not developed a regular meditation practice, yoga, what we think of yoga in this culture, all the nice, fun, bendy, twisty, stretchy, sexy poses, they're amazing and they're great and they're important, so important, and good yoga teachers are so important. All of that stuff is intended to get us here. To be able to sit like this for a while, comfortably. Equal in our hips, straight spine. You know, we spend most of our day like this now. So it gets us to here. And wherever props you need to use, if you need to use a chair, one of the biggest things about Wednesday nights that I hope if you join me here or if you don't make it to class, that you decide from wherever you are in the world to turn your computer on and join us, is just at least once a week working on getting eventually to that place that I sat. We'll learn the mudra. We'll learn all the variations of how to sit. You'll practice. When I invite it, this is the one day a week that I want to open to the whole world for us to come together and practice getting here. And I await the day that each individual who does this sends me a note or walks up to me and tells me about your first or fifth or 10th magic aha moment that takes you like light years into your own self-cultivation, that changes the way you do life, potentially changes the direction of what you're doing. Shifts and heals. One of my aha moments was I hadn't spoken to my stepfather in 12 years. I didn't think I had anything. I was good. I was clear. I was done with anger. I had made peace. I just created a healthy boundary. I was moved on in my life. And then sitting like this, my whole life changed in that moment, and I left my meditation that day. I was in a group class with my guru, and I walked out of there and I picked up a phone and I called my stepfather, and I completely fell in love with this person who I had thought I would never talk to again. For really good reasons, by the way. Really. And I made a level of peace in myself and in that relationship, and then it really shifted the way I did relationships with everybody from that day forward. I let go of tension around things so much differently after that one day's practice. So I can't wait to hear your guys' stories and to support you finding this. So I want you to know, as we sit here on Wednesdays, that there's sincere work that I think that we can all do better if we have support, if we have a place to come to. I'm humbly happy to support it both individually and collectively. So that's the Lotus Way. Sitting like a lotus and practicing to embody the lessons. And if you, yeah. So this is the Mani Padme Hum that I wanted to just share with you in case, other than Wednesdays, you want to sit and do a little embodying the lotus. So we're going to sing Om Mani Padme Hum 4 times with different tunes and repeat. And it's not call and response. You can listen to me and just join in whenever you want. Well, we're going to sing it the way that's coming out, and it's harder than the other one, but...
Om Mani
let's just chant like that again and again. So I invite everybody to find times to sit in whatever variation of the lotus pose that you feel comfortable in, that your spine can be straight, that you can feel rooted, that you can feel yourself rising through murky waters, supported as you're growing upward, nurtured as you're rooted downward. And so, in this practice, maybe you'll begin to blossom. When you'll feel openings, as your petals unfold. You'll feel a warmth from the energy above, nourishing you as you reach toward it. And if you invoke, whether inwardly or outwardly, this mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, and begin to feel the vibrations of these 6 seed syllables. Om Mani Padme Hum. And focus on becoming that jewel in the lotus. All wisdom and all compassion live here, in this space, in you. And the more we cultivate this presence, this practice, the more we feel connected to others who are doing this. It strengthens our practice. And when we come together and sit and practice, we are the pond of lotus, right? It's really quite beautiful. And I want to wrap tonight because I also realized, and even Melissa sent me a text today saying, is it feeling like a time of hibernating to you too right now? And of course this time of year in general is a more yin, the most yin time of year. But also, I have a lot of teachers who are master astrologists. I am not, so I want to say that right now, but through my other sanghas that I sit, like we're sitting now, I have several teachers that I do this with throughout the week. I spend as much time as possible in conscious community and practices with my teachers and students, and a few of them are astrologers reminding me, so I want to remind you that this is a powerful time. There was a solar eclipse on December 25th, so we had the solstice followed by a solar eclipse, and in a few days, on January 10th, is a full moon lunar eclipse. And so to have us at the beginning of the year, which is the winter solstice, to have immediately following that a solar eclipse, the first and that was the new moon. So there was a new moon solar eclipse, and now we're having a full moon lunar eclipse. The time in between that window is unbelievably powerful. So I don't know what's been going on for you all during this time, but it's an intense time. And I'm confessing here, I don't follow a lot of news. I mean, I do social media, so I'm aware of the insanities that are happening on a global scale right now. That those things are going on in this window are particularly powerful. They're not going to stop after January 10th. But this is a time, and these last few days of this moment are sort of the time to really stay inward through this lunar eclipse. In Vedic astrology, lunar eclipses and eclipses in general aren't I don't want to call them bad times or dangerous times, but they're times to be unbelievably careful and really calm and as introspective and reflective and stable as possible. And if we do that, then there's power in these eclipses that we harness in this time and then take onto the other side of them. And so whatever's going on in the world, there's only so much we can do about. But what we can individually do right now, which is unbelievably powerful for your establishing your year's energy, is to stay as inward as possible these next few days, making big decisions that feel scary, put it off if you can. Relationships that feel turbulent, just don't push it right now. Okay, they're gonna happen, but just keep things as simple as can. And those sankalpas that we did and our practices, our resolutions, whether it's your New Year's resolution or if you're a yogi, you're making resolutions every day in your practices. Like really, really hold on to those. Really let them grow deep roots in you during this time. And then after January 10th, anything we do in this time will be nourished and nurtured. If we kind of get lazy with that or push around, then we set ourselves up for a little bit more turbulence going forward. So from an astrological perspective, I want to honor Mahachandra, which is the Sanskrit word for moon. If any of you are chanters or mantra practitioners, you can go home and look at the moon mantras. It's a great time the next few days to just chant to her, the yin, the feminine, the softer, darker side of our nature. Om Shrim Som Samaya Namaha. Om Shrim Som Samaya Namaha. Om Shrim Som Samaye Namaha. This is a beautiful moon mantra. If you forget it, you can send me a message and I'll remind it. But it's a beautiful one to think of. So, love is the root of all religions. Nature, God is in all things, the natural and the supernatural. I love that word. I love the word superhumans too, by the way. We've made them into cartoon comics. But if you think about it, it's just like the supernatural. It's really natural. The superhumans have just really figured out all the potentials that we have. They are not outside of us. They're just the exceptional, those who have these exceptional qualities that we're nurturing. And our bodies, embodying physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and worshiping ourselves as that dimension, worshiping our temples, our bodies. Right? This is the Lotus Way. I am the Lotus Way. You are each this way. Right? And collectively together, we are really practicing and able to be this way. So that's why I'm here and you're here. And